Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Today, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, we will begin the approach to physics itself. Okay, please, everyone, if you give yourself any name like AL, the student who called him AL, please rename yourself. Okay, tell me who are you, because you will not be given the marks of the participation in this period if you don't give your name. Okay, so please, who are you? AL. He went away. Well, now inshallah we will talk about the topic one, which is general physics, not section one, but topic one. Okay, as we said, we have 5 topics in physics. These 5 topics are general physics, this is topic 1, and the thermal physics, this is topic 2, the waves, light and sound, topic 3, the electricity and magnetism, topic 4, and finally, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, the atomic physics, this is topic 5. Well, the general physics we will talk about, number 1, about the measurements. Okay, when we want to make a measurement, in fact, we measure what? We measure something that's called physical quantity. Okay, so in physics, we measure what? We measure what? We measure physical quantities. Well, so the physical quantities, like what physical quantities? Like mass, like velocity, like speed, like any quantity that we study in physics, and we can express it in numbers, and sometimes numbers in addition, and almost in numbers in addition to measuring units, is called the physical quantity. So any measurable quantity is called physical quantity. Well, the physical quantities in our study can be divided into 2 main physical quantities, and you don't have to write this point. This point is a point just to know. Okay, we have basic quantities and derived quantities. What's meant by the, as we said, the physical quantity is any quantity that can be measured and expressed in numbers. So if I ask you, for example, can I, inshallah, Muhammad Asam, inshallah, I'll upload this lecture on Classera. Can I consider the speed of the car a physical quantity? By the way, we can measure it using the speedometer. So is it physical quantity or not? If yes, write in the chat, please. Remember, your participation on the chat will be saved and will be observed in the marks of participation. Thank you, Muhammad Nash'at, Mahmoud Nash'at. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Thank you, Muhammad Asam. Thank you, Khalid Ayman. Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Kamal. Okay, Muhammad Ihab, Sirajuddin. Thank you, everyone. Okay, usually I'll mention the first 5 answers, and inshallah later I'll check your participation and give each one or everyone his mark. Well, okay, so can I say, for example, the price of a bottle of milk al-Marai? Okay, can I say it's a physical quantity or not? No. Abdullah, no, excellent. Abdullah, Muhammad Nash'at, Khalid, Abdullah, Hamza, Umayr, no, excellent. No. Why, Mr.? It can be expressed in numbers, yes, but it cannot be measured. Okay, it cannot be measured. Well, the physical quantities can be divided into 2 main categories. Number 1, the basic quantities. Number 2, the derived quantities. The basic quantities are the simplest quantities. The simplest quantities. In other words, we cannot decompose or analyze, okay, or resolve them to simpler quantities. Or in other words, we cannot express them in terms of other quantities. Okay, well, so this is the basic quantity. Okay, so here the basic quantities, they are the simplest quantities. Okay, in mechanics, which means general physics, in our study the mechanics is the general physics. Topic 1 is related to a branch of physics called the mechanics. Okay, in mechanics we have only 3 basic quantities. Okay, only 3 simple quantities. These quantities are the mass m, and the length L, and the distance, the mass, the length, and the time T. But you have to observe that length may be called distance, length can be called diameter, can be called radius, can be called displacement. All these are lengths. Is it clear? Or there is a question here? I think they are so easy. Well, now inshallah, if you have a question, just write it on the private chat and I'll see it. Okay? Umayr, the physical quantities. What's meant by physical quantity, Umayr? Umayr, physical quantity, any quantity that we study in physics. Okay? So we can measure it. We can measure it. Okay? And we can express in numbers. Okay, so can I say, Umayr, you answer me on the private chat. Umayr is asking about what's meant by physical quantity to answer. Okay, Umayr. Okay, Ahmed, Islam, I'm repeating now. Okay, Umayr, please, and Ahmed, concentrate well. If I ask you that, the happiness, can I say the happiness is a physical quantity? You both only answer, please. No. Why? Because it cannot express the numbers, okay, and cannot be measured physically. Well, okay, so, but what about the price of tamis? The price of tamis can be expressed in numbers, okay, but can I say it's a physical quantity? No, because it's not measurable. Yes, okay, we cannot measure it using a device, a measuring device, or some certain physical equation or equation of physics. So any quantity that can measure and express in numbers is called physical quantity. So the speed is a physical quantity. Why, Mr.? Can we measure speed? Yes, we can measure speed directly, or we can even calculate the speed from measured quantities. For example, in the car, you have something called speedometer, okay, that shows you the speed of the car, okay? So it can be measured, okay? No. Amount of price cannot be measured. Okay? The price cannot be measured. طيب. So the mass, if we want to find the mass, okay, we use what? With balance. If we want to determine the temperature, we use the thermometer and so on, okay? So these are the physical quantities, by the way. We don't want to give these points more than their weights, by the way. They are approachable. Well, welcome. What about Umayr? Umayr, you got it? Is it clear now? Ahmed Islam said, okay, he got it. What about you, Umayr? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Noura, I'm explaining now. Okay, and Abdurrahman Abbas said, Mr. It can be expressed in numbers, but unable to measure is that a physical quantity. لا, لو هي cannot be measured or nor cannot be calculated from measured quantities, ما تبقاش physical quantity. It's not physical quantity, Abdurrahman. Okay, I hope you get the answer. طيب, Noor, I'm explaining. I'm explaining. Okay, welcome. So now the physical quantities are so easy. We have 2 types of quantities. For example, let me remind you the formula. Okay, you remember that formula of velocity? Yes, formula of velocity is, or let's talk about the formula of the speed. Formula of the speed. The speed is distance divided by time. The speed is distance divided by time. Well, it's good. And we know this formula, Mr. Okay. That's right. The speed equals distance divided by time. Well, okay, so here, what about the distance? Is it one of these three quantities? Yes or not? Yes. So we call this simple. But let's, instead of say simple quantity, we say basic quantity. Okay. What about the t, which is time? Is it one of these three? Yes. So it's a basic quantity. But what about the speed? The speed is a basic quantity divided by a basic quantity. So it's composed of two basic quantities. So we say that the speed is derived quantity. Okay, it's not a simple quantity, it's a derived one. You get the idea, Noor? Okay, well, yes. Okay, so the derived quantity expressed in or expressed or based on the basic quantities. For example, the speed, the distance, which is length divided by time, which is a basic, which and both are basic quantities. So derived quantities are, Ahmed Islam said, are made of. ايوه بالضبط كده. Excellent, Ahmed Islam. They are the derived quantities are composed of two or more basic quantities by multiplication, by division, and so on. Well, okay, I'll send it to you, Ahmed Abbas. معلش عشان احنا we have only 3 minutes. Okay, so I send the video to you, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, to write as you want to write. Okay, so forgive me, please. Well, now inshallah Rabbil Alameen, we'll talk about the SI units. Okay, the SI unit is SI. It's the abbreviation of the statement system international in French, or international system in English. Okay, well, what is that system? It's a group or a set of units, those the physics scientists and experts, specialists, and the engineering and the engineers are they agree together to use them. Okay, especially in the scientific in physics, yani. Okay, well, these so it's a set of units used worldwide. Okay, because to avoid the interference and the disturbances that may happen when I use a unit and you use another unit. If we meet each other in a conference, for example, okay, you will not be able to understand the amounts that I'm talking about then, and I'll not be able to understand you. So we agreed together to unify, yes, okay, to make a unified set of units and call it SI units. By the way, the SI units is not the only system. There are many systems of unit, but we almost and concentrate almost will use the SI unit. The question now, Mr. Should we please? This is a very important point to be known now for IGCSE. Mr. Should we use the SI units only? In other words, if we have another unit rather than SI unit in the problem or in the question, should we transfer it or change it to the SI unit? The answer is no. No. In IGCSE O level, no, you don't have to do that. But you have to observe the following. The units in your answer should be homogeneous. Should be what? Homogeneous. What's meant by homogeneous? For example, if you have two masses in the problem, okay, don't use one with kilogram and the other with grams. It's not logic. Okay, it's units salad. Okay, so it's something incredible, horrible to be done. Okay. Yes, excellent, Ahmed Islam. Use the same one as in the question, except for if you find yourself have to change one to the other because you have two different measuring units. This is a very important point. So in our syllabus, Cambridge doesn't say please use only SI units. No. Okay. Well, but you have to know the SI unit of each quantity. On the other hand, you have to know what is the SI unit of each quantity. Okay, it's a very important point. Well, so these are the SI units of the, which quantities are they? These quantities are which quantities? Write in the chat, write in the private chat. Don't forget. Excellent answer, Mahmoud Nashat, mashallah. The basic. Shukran, Abdullah. Shukran, Ahmed Usama. Shukran, Abdul Rahman. Shukran, Kamal Eddin. Shukran, Abdul Rahman Abbas. Excellent. And thank you for everyone who wrote later. Okay, but I said I'll mention the first 5 answers and the other will be given the mark, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, when I revise the participation during the chat. Okay, so the quantities here, the time, the IG symbol. What's meant by the IG symbol? In IG, we use common symbols. Okay, so should I use them? It's preferable to use them. Okay, but if you don't remember them and you want to use other symbols, you have to do a very simple thing. You have to write a label, to make a labeling of this symbol. For example, if I want to use for example, the time, I want to call it, for example, anything, C, for example. It's not logic, but in example, imaginary example. Okay, okay, Muhammad. Okay, I'll put it between 2 brackets and say that indicates time or shows time. طيب. Okay, so the time in IG is T. It's small t, but ما فيش مشكلة. The mass may be small m and capital M. We have no problem. Okay, the length may be height, H, depth, H, width, W, wavelength, lambda. This symbol is lambda. I hope you remember it. Okay, and so on. We can use delta X also. We can use X. We can use, and so on. Will I lose? La, you don't lose marks. La. By the way, we are so large, so flexible with the students in marking O level in such points, not in all points, by the way. Okay, well, Greek numbers are used. Yes, Greek letters. Yes. Okay. The formula or the units used here, the time, these are the formula, the measuring units, sorry, we use. But remember the following, and be careful, and be careful again. When you read the past paper, you'll find such a question. This device works during 5 ms. By the way, he didn't say in the question, he didn't say it's time. He said during 5 ms. 5 ms, okay? So he didn't tell you that's time, and he said ms. So some students may be confused about ms and say it's ms means meter second. No, there's nothing called meter second. Ms means millisecond. So please be careful. The millisecond is 1/1000 over the second, and we will talk of the second, and we will talk about the changing units, inshallah Rabbil Alameen, in this part. Okay, but you have to pay attention for ms this, because it's frequently used as a trick in the paper, in paper 2 especially. Well, in paper 4, I'm so sorry, especially. What about the mass? Kilogram, gram, and mg. Mg means what, huh? Mg means what? Milligram, Abdul Rahman Ahmed Islam, Ahmed Usama, Kamal Eddin, Muhammad Isam, and Abdullah Abu Al-Khair. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for everyone who answered later. Okay, I see your answers. Thank you for everyone. Well, now km, kilometer, m is meter, cm, centimeter, mm, millimeter. Okay, mu, m, micrometer, nm, nanometer. This reminds us the something called the scientific prefixes. Well, here some important points to be revised. The area, okay, what's the area? Okay, micro is capital, then micro is this. This is micro. Mu, it's like the letter U and with some tail like this. Okay, so but the capital M like this is mega. So this is micro. But this is not micro. It's what? Mega. طيب. Well, يعني عشان بس ما يحصلش confusion دلوقتي. This is the micro. Let's concentrate on the micro. Well, طيب. Now, if I ask you what is the measuring unit of the area? خالد الفياض طلع؟ طيب. Okay. Yes. Okay. If I ask you about the measuring unit of any of the area, don't look at the sky and say, what are you doing? Are you counting the stars? No. Okay. I try to remember. Remember what? It's not reminded. It's derived. Why? Because we know that the area generally, this is the area of the square that I'm pointing now on the area of the area of the square, A equal L squared. This is the area of the rectangle, A equals L times B, length times width. This is the area of the circle. You have to memorize these, by the way. Some problems will stop if you don't know these, okay? Mister, we are not in the period of geometry. Yes, but you are in a period of physics, okay? For example, you have a formula in topic 1, in the end of the topic 1 is called, say, the pressure is the force divided by the surface area. Okay, so he may give you the radius of the surface and ask you to find the pressure. If you don't know how to find the area from the radius, okay, you will not be able to finish the question and you will lose 2 marks at least. Okay, so you have memorized everything that you wrote here. Okay, by r squared, pi is 3.15, as you know. Okay, or 22 divided by 7. Okay, the area of a triangle. Oh no, it's so important, the area of the triangle, because we will study in this topic, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. If I ask you to find the displacement and I give you the curve of velocity versus time, to find the displacement, you have to find the area under the curve or under the graph. To find the area under the graph, you will find it almost, it may be a triangle. To find the area of the triangle, what is the area of the triangle? The area of the triangle is half base times height. Well, the question now, what is the measuring unit? I repeat again, don't look at the stars to count them when you are remembering or try to remembering that. Try to remember that the unit. Well, يا جماعة أرجوكم الناس اللي بتكلمني عن الكتاب، أنت طالب IG. You are an IG candidate. Don't talk to me about the book. You are not a grade 4, please. study what I ask you to study. You want to get to inshallah 9, study what I ask you to study, nothing else. يعني تقريبا 4 times or 5 times till now the book, Mr. The book. This is not in the book. Okay, now inshallah if I ask you what about the measuring unit will be meter squared. From where, Mr. You got meter squared? Because if you observe all these cases, you will find them area, for example, equal length times length, okay? Or length squared. Length is in meters or centimeter, and the other one is in meters. So it's meter times meter. So the measuring unit is meter squared. I hope it's clear. Okay, well, let's continue. By the way, I told you that. I told you that when I'm explaining to you, okay, I put in mind the exam. Because I, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, هذا من فضل الله, I am a Cambridge certified examiner. Okay, so please follow me. Excuse me. What about the volume? Volume, we have 2 cases, and we will use these several times. لا, كويس. Question Ahmed Islam is asking, Mr. If I said in the equation meter times centimeter, do we reply with centimeter or meter? You don't have to reply, because you will get 0. You will get 0 in all languages, ya Ahmed Islam, because I said to you that a few minutes ago, we have to use homogeneous units. I know. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, so meter times meter, centimeter times centimeter. Okay, thank you. Well, yes, they must be the same. Homogeneous units, meter, all lengths by meter, and so on. The volume, we have 2 cases. If the regular shape, what's meant by regular? Regular like this. Regular means it has normal sides. It has normal sides like this. Cylinder, rectangular block, cube. Okay, all these are measured by the area of the base times the height. The area, we said it's a meters squared. Okay, the base. Yes, Muhammad Idris. Homogeneous means the same. Heterogeneous means different. Yeah. Okay. And so the area is meter squared, and the height is meters. So the measuring unit will be meter cube or centimeter cube or something like that. Okay, welcome. Okay, in case of sphere, can I say the sphere is regular? Not the sphere, because its sides are not perpendicular, okay, or normal. So it will be 4. We have to memorize this formula: 4 pi r squared, because we know pi is 22/7 or 3.14. Okay, and r is the radius. Okay, so the measuring unit in all cases will be what? Will be cubic meters. You have to memorize this, like your name and more than your name. These are some practices you have to شوف يا عبد الله. Okay, شوف. طيب خليني بس اقول لكم, these practices are to be made at home, inshallah رب العالمين, the homework. Okay, I'll send you the video, and I'll send you this practice on the IGC SE on the Coursera. Well, طيب I didn't understand. Regular, what's meant by regular? Look at this. Look at this fast. I think we have less than 1 minute. Okay. So